Yeah, Deborah, go ahead and just unstock the movies, put them on the shelves, and just answer any questions customers have. Okay. Thank you. Hey. Thank you, Deborah. Thank you. Hey, yeah, how you doing? Yeah. Welcome to Ryan's Radical Movies. I'm Ryan. It's good to see you again. Yeah, I remember you from last time. How do you like your horror movies? Do they scare you? Yeah, no, you can never get tired of a good scare. That's always fun. Are we looking to pick up some more movies today? Okay, awesome. Yeah, the more you add to your collection, the nicer it looks. Awesome. Well, as you know, I like to ask the first question, what are you looking for? What kind of movie genre are we looking for today? We're going to go horror again? Maybe some comedy? Comedy? Okay. Awesome. Yeah, no, I love making people smile and making people laugh. So whenever I watch a movie that makes me do both, that's pretty awesome. Okay, cool. Well, as you know, we have a lot of horror movies here, but we do carry other films as well. We have the comedy, action, adventure, suspense, romance, all that stuff here. So we'll go ahead and help you out with some comedies. Very nice. So let's take a look at what we have today. Are you into more of like an adult comedy, like more crude humor, or kind of a family-friendly comedy? Like what are you looking for? Kind of anything that'll make you laugh. Okay, well, I have two really good movies. Well, these two movies are 21 and 22 Jump Street. I'm pretty sure if you've grown up in our generation, you've seen these movies. They're extremely funny, and they're also really action-packed, too. In 21 Jump Street, it's basically Channing Tatum and Jonah Hill. They are basically buddy cops together. And their relationship is pretty funny because, you get the good-looking tall one and the short fat one. So, that duo always brings the laughs. And in the first one, you basically get their backstory. You learn that, Schmidt, this guy's name, Jonah Hill's character, was bullied in high school by Channing Tatum's character. So they both kind of get back and forth at each other about their past, but I won't spoil the end, but let's just say that friendship always wins. 22 Jump Street, you're looking at pretty much the same thing. The directors were thinking, hey, if it's not broken, let's not fix it. So, really two good movies that'll sure to make you laugh, sure to make you keep you at the edge of your seat. What are we thinking? Okay, how much are they going for? Well, us here, we have the best prices. Individually, they're going to go for about $200,000 each. But if you buy them together, I'll give them to you for only $300,000. Yeah, basically a small home equity line of credit. Pretty much you're buying a house, but for two movies. Okay, I'll put that in the maybe pile. How's that sound? Get that back there for you. And next up, I have some old school humor. Now, growing up, I was always the class clown. I always loved making people laugh and smile, and I still do. And I can assure you, I take inspiration from this guy. Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey has always been my idol, and I always love watching his films, and I always strive to make people laugh as much as he did. So, here are his two movies. I grew up watching Jim Carrey Pet Detective, and he also came out with another one called Ace Ventura Pet Detective, and this one is Ace Ventura When Nature Calls. Two very good movies, and two hilarious movies that'll make sure to help you guys laugh and do what you gotta do when it comes to smiling. Yep. He is hilarious in both films, and he he just gives off that super energetic and super happy, performance, and I commend him for that. I'm gonna put this in the maybe pile also. These are running for the same deal as the other ones. All sequel movies that come in a pack of 2 are running for that deal, so I'll put that one away for you as well. While we're on the title of sequels, topic of sequels, I do have 2 more movies that you might like. Anchorman. If you have not seen Anchorman or Anchorman 2, they are wonderful films. Another idol, another person that, is the iconic comedic actor, I would say, is Will Ferrell. He is most definitely one of the funniest guys to ever come out of our generation, and he has been there for a very, very long time. For instance, okay, let me see something here. Really? This one, 2030. Okay, so this movie, Anchorman, the first one came out back in 2004, so that was a while back, and then Anchorman 2 came out in 2013, so you had to wait about 9 years until you got the sequel, but this is one of the very few cases where the sequel is, just as good, if not better, than the first movie. So these 2 movies definitely should go together. If you're thinking about buying the first one, you better get the second one. So I'll put these in the maybe pile for you as well. Okay, looks like you're going to be spending a pretty penny today. Let's see, what else do we have here for you? Okay, so I think I got it. Well, one of our older movies we have here, it's also a special edition steelbook. So you got yourself the nice back right there, and then the nice front. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. It is completely made out of steel. You open it up and you get that iconic turkey cutting dinner scene. And I'm telling you, it is one of the funniest National Lampoon movies out of all the National Lampoon Vacation movies. I'm telling you, you gotta check these movies out. They are funny, they are somewhat family friendly, not really, but they are just classics when it comes to Chevy Chase. Most definitely his best movies he made. So the Christmas Vacation is always a great Christmas movie to put on when your family's around, and like I said, it's the special edition, so it shines on the shelf of any collectors. I'll just put that in the maybe for you. More to come. Give me 1 second. Okay. Oh, speaking of Jim Carrey, on the last ones that we were talking about, we have 2 movies that got really late sequels as well. We have Dumb and Dumber and Dumb and Dumber 2. Dumb and Dumber was one of, the iconic, comedy films of the 90s. Came out in 1994, and this is when Jim Carrey and Jeff Daniels were in their prime. They basically played 2 best friends that pretty much were a special kind of people, I guess you can say. And in the second one, they're much older, but they find out that Lloyd, Jim Carrey's character, has a daughter, so they have to go find her, and I'm telling you, it's played by Rachel Melvin, that actress. Spicy, that's all I gotta say. And I'm telling you, same thing, they come as a set, they're looking good together, and I'm telling you, both of them are pretty good, so I'm going to put that in the pile of the sequels for you. Okay. Yeah, no, Jim Carrey, he's a really great actor. I love him. I grew up watching him, and I'm pretty sure I'll die watching him. moving into more of an adult humor. What am I doing? Grabbed the wrong movie there. Moving more into an adult humor movie. The Hangover is a classic. It's a really, really, really good movie that pretty much lets you know what it feels like to have probably the world's craziest hangover to ever exist. You see, I'm straight edge, so I don't drink, but so I wouldn't know what a hangover feels like. But if it feels anything like this movie, I'm pretty sure it's funny, dangerous, and gets you in a lot of trouble. So I wouldn't want to have one of those. But this is a really good movie. You should definitely check it out. It's awesome, and yeah, it's more of an adult humor video. That's all I gotta say. I'm probably gonna watch it tonight, but I'm telling you, if your parents are out of town and you're just inviting your buddies over to have a good movie, this is the one to watch. Yes, this one has the slipcover, so it just looks a lot nicer, you know. Okay, I'll put that one in that pile for you. Now, you see, this movie actually got a lot of hate, which I don't know why, because I enjoyed it very, very much, but this movie features, I guess you can say, two of my all-time favorite actors in one movie, and that made me incredibly happy. It's the incredible Burt Wonderstone. So, this movie basically follows Steve Carell's character, Burt Wonderstone. Steve Carell, top of the line. If you know me, I love The Office, my favorite TV show of all time, and I guarantee you, I can quote the entire thing. Every episode, you name the quote, I'll know it, I'll know who said it, I'll know what episode. I'm a freak when it comes to it. So, it has Steve Carell in it, and my boy, Jim Carrey, and it's essentially based off of Burt Wonderstone's life. He is a very successful Las Vegas He's a very successful Las Vegas magician. And he has his own show with Steve Buscemi's character. And I'm not underplaying Steve Buscemi here. That guy is legendary, but it is them two growing up together as little kids interested in magic, and they end up getting their own show in Las Vegas. But they end up fighting because Burt Wonderstone is very cocky, and he doesn't, like sharing the spotlight. So he basically falls out of his show, and he realizes there's a new guy in town. Jim Carrey's character, I forgot what his name was. Steve Gray. So Steve Gray comes in and has a new form of magic. So they're like street magic, like Chris Angel and David Blaine and all those guys. It's more of a crazier magic, not like pulling a bunny out of a top hat anymore. It's just shock factor magic. So he gets jealous and has to revamp his show. Long story short, it's a very funny movie about Steve Carell, Steve Buscemi, and Jim Carrey all fighting together. Also, not to underplay Olivia Wilde. She does great in the movie as well. Very funny. I'm just going to stack all these up for you because they're really great films. You gotta get them all. A very famous TV show that got famous essentially off of YouTube, mainly because they would upload their skits on YouTube, called Key and Peele. Key and Peele follows Keegan-Michael Key and Jordan Peele. They do comedy sketches, and it got so popular to where they were able to make their first feature film. They decided to make a movie called Keanu. Keanu is the name of their gangster cat that essentially they basically find the cat, and the cat belongs to a big drug lord. So Keegan-Michael Key and Jordan Peele get to essentially, they find this cat from the drug lord, and just a whole, what storm comes their way. And basically have to go through all these crazy things. They're kind of like whitewashed, but then they gotta act ghetto in order to get out of certain situations. And I'm telling you, it's funny. It's a great time. And if you like cats and comedy, this is the one for you. I'll put that one with the rest of them. Another two really popular movies that I loved that are adult films, kind of, not like that, but adult comedies, are the Kick-Ass movies, Kick-Ass 1 and Kick-Ass 2. Just filled with probably some of the greatest action, scenes of all time. I would say it's more of a comedy, though, because it sees itself as an action comedy. But essentially, Kick-Ass, this nerdy kid, dresses up as a superhero and kicks some ass. And he becomes a huge internet sensation, and more follow him. So we got Hit Girl, Big Daddy, and the Red Mist. They all essentially are homemade superheroes. Now, that one just revolves around them. What I like about Kick-Ass 2 is that it just branches out into the world. So all of these people here are people that were inspired by Kick-Ass to continue to fight crime and make their own costumes, and it just starts this whole revolution of superheroes. Now, Red Mist, the evil guy, brings together his own super villain squad. So there are people out there that want to do good, but there's also people out there that want to do bad. So they come together, and it's heroes versus villains, and it's just super funny. And yes, my boy Jim Carrey is there, looking very old. So these come as a set as well. Very, very good movies. Now, we're almost out of our selection so far, but just want to ask you, are you feeling satisfied? Feeling like you got enough of a selection? Okay, good. Now, one of the classics. Jack Black in Nacho Libre. I'm pretty sure everyone in the world has heard of this movie. It's one of the funniest movies ever, and I can guarantee you, you're gonna laugh about 500 times when watching this movie. Jack Black is legendary in this one, and it's amazing. So, if you got a pretty penny, this one is our shining gold here. This one's going for about $4,336,582 with 63 cents. So, it's looking good. It's going to be great. And I can tell you, if you buy this, you won't regret it. He's essentially a luchador, but he's also working for a ministry. So he's he helps out at a church, and the church sees luchadors as sinful people that commit sins and wrestle. But he secretly loves wrestling, so he becomes a luchador, and it just follows his crazy adventures of his life. So it's fun, it's great, and it's a fun ride. Now, another adult film, kind of adult comedy, is Pop Star. If you know, these three guys are called The Lonely Island. The Lonely Island is another group that got famous off of YouTube that basically made parody songs. And now Adam Sandberg is a guest, or he stars, but mostly writes in Saturday Night Live. His other two friends are still doing their own thing too, but this is essentially a mockumentary on, like, I would say Justin Bieber, kind of. So he's kind of making fun of Justin Bieber in this movie and all those other pop stars, and how, fragile they are and how crazy it can be going on tour. But it's just a really funny movie. I recommend giving it a watch, and it just really is filled with lots of funny songs, and it's kind of the movie that has a lot of adult humor, so make sure your parents are out of the house when watching this one. But, it's funny. It's insanely funny. We'll save this one. Another adult humor one is Sausage Party. If you know the whole, like, Seth Rogen and James Franco and Jonah Hill, their movies are pretty intense. So Sausage Party is definitely one of their more risque films, one of their more adult films. Yes, it's an animated film, but even on the title they have to put rated R on here because it's basically nothing but sex jokes and profanity. So if you can handle that, go ahead and give it a watch. It's very funny, and it's kind of crazy to see how, food lives, I guess you can say. Toy Story gives you a look on how toys might live if they can come to life. Sausage Party gives you a look at what food might do when they come to life. But it's a really funny movie, and it's a great time. Okay. This one can be seen as kind of a horror movie, kind of a comedy, so I'm going to call it a horror comedy. This is Scout's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse. It is kind of like your basic, zombie movie, but it's funny. It follows this character, totally forgot his name, and his two friends. They're all Boy Scouts. And they go out on like a camping trip. And it turns out that the zombie apocalypse has started. So, them being Boy Scouts, they get, each skill that they got with their badge and put it into the world of a zombie apocalypse. And they craft their own weapons, they build themselves a fire, they do a lot of things, make their own outfits and everything out of everything they learned in the Boy Scouts. So, it's a really fun movie. It's action-packed, and it's lots of awesome like scenes and everything like that. And there's comedy sprinkled out there through a while. Also, they meet this girl who is a worker at a strip club. So she's a stripper, and she ends up kicking ass with them. So it's a lot of fun. It's really cool. And if you got the money, go ahead and purchase this one as well. That one's about 50 cents. So if you got enough money, if you got the 50 cents, go ahead and get that. Another good one I would say is The Simpsons movie. Nothing like a good old animated family. The Simpsons, I think, still today are the longest running TV show ever in history. Or that might be Monday Night Raw. I'm not sure, but I know The Simpsons have been there forever. And the movie is just as funny as the TV show, so, if you know The Simpsons, this is going to be your thing. Check it out. If you're a fan of Star Wars, you're going to be a fan of Spaceballs. Spaceballs is a movie by Mel Brooks that basically makes fun of Star Wars. It was made a while ago, but it is lots of fun and it's great. It's essentially the same exact storyline of Star Wars, but with a bunch more jokes, and it definitely does not take itself seriously. But yeah, Rick Moranis plays Star Wars Darth Vader. I forgot his name. Hold on. Dark Helmet. His name is Dark Helmet, so that should just tell you how not serious this movie takes itself, but it's a lot of fun and it's very funny, so go ahead and check it out as well. Just put these all in your cart for you. You're going to be buying a lot of stuff today. Okay. This, by far, I would say, is Melissa McCarthy's best movie that she's made. If I can be completely honest, I'm not a big fan of Melissa McCarthy. I think all of her comedy is just her yelling, running, jumping around, and saying she's fat. So I think that that's not really that funny because it's pretty repetitive to me. But whatever you laugh at is whatever you laugh at. Spy is, it was very unexpected. There was really great there's a really great plot in there. It just all connected and it all felt right. So I enjoyed it very much. And Melissa McCarthy did great in this one, so hats off to you. Here we have another special edition, Superbad. Now, Superbad is another adult comedy movie, and it most definitely is one of my first comedy movies I watched with my friend, and it is crazy, filled with profanity, filled with nudity, filled with action-packed craziness, and I can tell you, if you can't handle it, then stay out of the kitchen, because wowzers. It's pretty intense, it's pretty funny, and it's always a good time if you can handle it, guys. So, I'll put this one there too. From the same guys, we got Danny McBride, Jay Baruchel, James Franco, Craig Robinson, Seth Rogen, and Jonah Hill. The reason why this is the end is one of my favorite comedy films is because it's self-aware and it breaks the fourth wall. And as you guys can tell from some of my videos, I like to break the fourth wall all the time. So if you really like that kind of comedy, each of themselves, James Franco plays himself, Seth Rogen plays himself, they all play themselves, so they're all self-aware and acting like themselves, acting like movie stars. So they all come together to James Franco's house for a big house party, and suddenly, this is the end. The apocalypse starts, and the world is coming to an end, and it's just funny to see all the shenanigans they go through when having to deal with, the second coming of Jesus and the demons, running around, getting people, and it's insane. I won't spoil anything for you, but stay tuned for the end of this movie because that brings it all together. So, that one's very good. I'd say another movie that's kind of like that is Tropic Thunder. Tropic Thunder stars Ben Stiller, Jack Black, and Robert Downey Jr. And essentially, they all play movie stars. So it's kind of like This Is the End, but they're not playing Ben Stiller, Robert Downey Jr., and Jack Black. They're playing Tug Speedman. Robert Downey Jr. is like Lazarus Faith or something like that, and Jack Black is like Tuggy Wilson or something, I don't know. But they all play movie stars, and it's really funny. They go and make a movie about the army or something like that. And it goes down. Okay, guys, it goes crazy. I can't really explain it, but it's a funny movie, and it's a great time. It's the same thing I've said about every other movie. The final movie I'm going to recommend for you guys, because I don't want to waste too much of your time, I want to give you enough time to buy these movies, go home and watch a couple, is Why Him? It's a fairly recent movie, but it's a very touching and funny movie. So it's essentially about this man, Bryan Cranston's character, and his daughter's character. I forgot who plays her, I'm so sorry. But Bryan Cranston and his daughter, Bryan Cranston finds out that his daughter has been dating James Franco's character. Now, James Franco's character isn't that, I guess you can say, polite, or has that many manners. He's more of one of our millennial type generation people. He cusses a lot, but he's filthy rich. He's a famous internet star, and kind of like, but he makes a ton of money, and essentially the entire movie is James Franco's character trying to win Bryan Cranston's blessing to marry his daughter, and it's very funny, it's very touching, and it really makes you appreciate your family. Put that on the card as well. Okay. But yeah, every movie I recommended to you guys, I assure you, you'll have a great time with, and they're all so much fun, and there's nothing like comedy movies, I'm a big horror movie guy, got my posters, got all my horror movie collections, because I yes, I do like the characters and the adrenaline that gives you, but there's nothing like laughing with people that you love being around, you know? Just having a great time with everyone and just being happy. So, go ahead and get the rest of those in your cart. I'm going to add up your total. Give me 1 second. Got myself my computer here. It's a little big. Okay, so that's going to be 9, that one. Yeah, I'm just adding up the movies. 5,842. Okay, plus 4,785 plus 3,476,000. Perfect. And do you have any coupon codes today? Yes, we do post on social media the coupon code. Do you know it? Very nice. Yes, it is. Don't forget to smile. Awesome. That is a motto here. We always try to keep going, especially when watching comedy movies. We always want to make people smile here. Okay. So, looks like your total actually comes out to an even $57 billion. How did that come to be? I'm not sure, but it is $1 billion if you want to go ahead and just pay with a credit card, debit card maybe. Okay, just put it on your tab. Alright. And your name once more. Sorry, I almost forgot it. And how do you spell that? Yes, we have you on our systems. Awesome. Well, thank you so much again for coming to Ryan's Radical Movies. Let me go ahead and get this out of the way. Okay, got your receipt here for you. And we'll go ahead and just put that in the bag with your movies. So, once again, I just want to thank you and say that you've been nothing but more than amazing. And it looks like we got a special guest here that wants to say goodbye. So we have our guard dog here. His name's Happy. He protects all the movies and loves everyone that comes in. As you can see, he has a very affectionate face. So, this has been Ryan Radical Movies. Thanks for stopping by. And on your way out, please don't forget to smile. Thank you again. Have a good night.